Hello guys, welcome to Selenium with Java April 2023 batch online training session 2. In today's sessions I will cover what are the different operations we can perform on images, checkbox, radio button and drop down or select box, and how we can scroll down or scroll up a web page, and the complete study of XML path or Xpath and CSS selector. So in the first session you already get the basic concept of Selenium WebDriver, how to start your journey in the automation, Selenium automation. So what are the prerequisites required? You need to install the Java, you need to set the home path and the path variable for the JDK path and the bin folder. You need to install Eclipse. You need to install the Selenium jar file where you will get the methods, relevant methods for different classes and interfaces available in Selenium WebDriver jar file. Then you need to install like Chrome browser, Chrome driver or the Gcode driver in case you want to continue with Chrome browser or Firefox browser respectively. So after setup is done, you need to create a project, and then once the project is created, you need to associate your Selenium jar file to the project. You need to create a package and the class, then you can start your journey. You need to first set up the details for the Chrome browsers. You need to create an object or instance for the WebDriver interface and the Chrome driver class. You need to maximize it. You need to get the details of the page. Then you can do the different operation, API operation. You can interact right with the different web edit field link, and you already know there are different 8 element locator techniques available: ID, name, class name, partial link text, tag name, and CSS and Xpath. So primarily most of the web field, right, there will be all this stuff might be there, any one stuff like ID, name, class name, anything. But sometimes no such field is available, or sometimes these are available, but sometimes it is dynamic in nature, means changing every time, so that it will not work. So what you can do, you can go with the default CSS or Xpath, but it is not recommended to go with default Xpath and CSS. So better to create your own Xpath or CSS, and that way you can easily uniquely identify the element, and after that you can do a number of operations on the element. So what are the image? So in case I want to navigate to a particular page, suppose a Facebook page, right, you could see this is the images. So how can you identify that's the image? So you can press F12 button, or you can right click here and you can go to the inspect that option. You could see automatically the same thing is coming. You can click on the inspect element and you can mouse it hover to that one, right? And you could see in case it's the image, right, the tag will start with img or src sometime. And you could see the class is available, like or alt is available, but you can sometime class might not work because you could see sometimes space is available. So in case that first part you can take, otherwise you can go with the Xpath or CSS selector, not be a problem. So we'll see how we can deal with the particular images. So sometimes images may be disabled, right? There is no link available, so that we can get the images attribute. We can validate whether the images class is correctly appearing. We can validate with the expected and actual part, src, alt, and other attribute we can validate it. And sometimes images clickable also. So you can click on the images and you can navigate to different web page, and you can validate easily that after clicking on the images, right, your expected URL is getting launched, or you are able to navigate to a like other URL. So images link are the link in web page represented by image, which when user will be clicking, sometime navigate to a different window or page. User cannot use by link text and by partial link text method because images link basically have no link text at all. It is better to use CSS or Xpath. To fetch any attribute in Selenium, user can use the get attribute method. This method takes the attribute name as a parameter. Now let's see how we can deal with the images here. So we can go to the Eclipse here, and this is the packages. This is the project created already. This is the package created yesterday session, and then there is a, oh no, it's not this one. So this is the project created, right, April 2023 Selenium training batch, and this is the package created training, and Selenium jar file added. By default Java jar file will be already there in the project because we are creating a Java project. So I can create a new class here for today's session, like you can get it session 2. As now we are using Java project, so we need to select the public static void main to execute our script. You can remove that code, that part, and I can copy the path right, because I want to launch a particular browser. So that is the code I am copying it. I am not changing anything. So first line is nothing but setting the properties for the Chrome browsers, right? Creating object or instance for the WebDriver interface with the help of the Chrome driver class, and we are maximizing the window, and this is the URL I am passing. So I want to open the Facebook page, so I can change it, the URL here. Then I want to interact with that particular Facebook page, right? So I can take something called deep Xpath, copy Xpath. So I will be identifying the element with the help of Xpath driver dot find element by dot Xpath. I am taking the default Xpath. In case it is not working, then we will see the workaround. And it is the type will be web element, so I can store in sub web element. Say Facebook image, that is the variable, and I need to import the web element from the org.openq.selenium. Then that is the variable I have created for the Facebook image, right? I can print out the different attribute. So how can I print out? Dot get attribute method, and you need to pass the attribute name so that value will print it out. So say I want to pass the class. Similar way, whatever other attribute is there, I can get it. So what is the first src? I can get it. This is the another attribute. Then I can get the alt attribute also. Right? I can quit the driver. Now let's try to run the script and let's see how I can fetch all the details in my console. So it will open the Facebook page, it will get the details, and it will close the browser. You could see the first thing is coming as class, right? FB-logo and img. Then it is coming as src, right? You could see starting with http static access and .svg. It is matching, and the alt is nothing but the Facebook, so it is matching. You can like use some if else loop to validate. Otherwise, in the later session you can learn how can you add the assertion to check the expected and the actual behavior. So sometime in case link is clickable, so you can just simply use that variable and you can use the method called click. So that is the way, right? You can deal with the kind of images. Primarily for the in real-time validation perspective, right? You need to validate the different properties of the images. You need to validate that in case image is clickable, I am able to navigate to the page or window, and that window or page is having that title. So that way you can do the assertion or validate the expected and actual result. Okay, so that are the different things you can do with the images. The next important thing is that, right, you can deal with the checkbox and radio button. So I mean it is a very simple. So you already know the difference between the checkbox and radio button. So checkbox is nothing in case you are giving some exam, right? Real-time exam, you already see, right? There will be multiple options will be there. Sometime you need to select multiple options. Sometime you can select only one option. Suppose there is a 5 option in the questions. Sometime there is a radio button, means you can select only one questions. If you select the other question, automatically first one will be deselected and second one will be selected. But for the checkbox, if you check for the click for the one time, it will be selected, and you can select all also. And if you click on the second time, it will be deselected or the unselected. So that is the difference between the radio button and the checkbox. So what are the different operations you can do for radio button and checkbox? We can first check whether it's displayed, then is enabled, then is selected or not, right? And you can click it. So first time if you click, it will be selected. Second time it will unselected or deselected. For the radio button, again you can validate whether it's displayed, is enabled, or is selected. And if you click it, so it will be selected. But for the radio button, if you select the other option, what will happen? The first one will be deselected automatically and second one will be selected. Now let's go to one sample website here. That is the website. You could see right here there are a lot of area button and a lot of checkboxes there. I can try to see how what are the different operations I can do. Let's comment out this code here. I can open a new page, driver.get, and this is the URL. I can open it. Then I can identify a new element. Suppose say I want to first check with the checkbox 1. Okay, so you can press F12 button, or either you can press inspect button here, right clicking, and then you can mouse it over, and you can just suppose say checkbox 2 I want to deal with. So you could see there is a name ID VFV-6-1. So copy the ID, press Ctrl F and paste it here and see whether it is unique or not. You could see 1 out of 1, and if you enter here in the left pane, you could see that is getting highlighted, means that ID is unique in nature. So you need to make sure that ID is unique. Whatever attribute, whatever element locator technique you are using, you need to make sure that element locator is unique in the page, otherwise it will not work properly in case you are having multiple options. So that is the reason CSS or Xpath will play a pivotal role for Selenium. So what I'll do, I will create a web element, say checkbox 1 or 2, right? 2 I am identifying it, equal to driver dot find element by dot ID. What is the ID? That one is the ID, PFP hyphen. So I already copied it. So that is the way I will be creating the checkbox, right? Then what can I do? I can validate whether checkbox is first displayed. That is the way. In case it is not displayed, there is no point of checking is right enabled or selected or click. So I will check first displayed dot is displayed, then is selected dot is enabled second, and then I will call dot is enabled, or sorry, is selected. So initially it was false, it will be false, and the rest two will be true here. First two options will be true, definitely it is displaying, and that option will be also true. Okay, then I want to click here, so it will be dot click, so it will be checked, right? So after that, if you want to select it, so definitely it will be giving you true result, right? Next time if you again click it, so what will be happen? It will be deselected again, and it will be giving you the false result. Okay, so we can give some wait time, dot sleep, maybe for 3 seconds, so that it will wait for 3 seconds, and you can able to see whether it's selecting or deselecting, right? So add throws declaration exception. Now you could run your code, so it will identify the checkbox 2 in the web page, right? It will give you the result displayed, enabled, selected. So by default it is not selected. It will click on the checkbox when selected. After that, it will check whether it's selected or not. So it will be true. After that, after 3 seconds, it will wait, and then it will click on that, click again, so it will be deselected. After that, it will be false again. So that are the different things you can validate, and also navigation also you can validate. Now let's try to run the code here. It will open the page, maximize it, load the page. It will identify checkbox 2, it will click here, wait for 3 seconds, it will unclicked, right? You could see that is the operation is happening. Now what is the output is coming? True, displayed true, enabled true. Initially it was not selected, false. After clicking it will be selected, true, right? And then after clicking again it will be deselected, so it will be false. So that is the way you can validate, similar way, right? So that is the way, right? You can identify the other checkbox with the help of the other properties. You can click on that one, right? Suppose in case I want to click the other checkbox, so what I can do, I can create the checkbox 1 here, and I can give that ID, it should 0, I think. Let's see. You could see it is 0. Then I can check it, dot click, right? Similar way I can create a checkbox 3 also. So it is 2, I think. Let's see what is this. 1 second. Yeah, it is 2. and I can click here. So first checkbox 2 will be selected, after 3 seconds it will be deselected, and checkbox 1 and 3 will be selected. So that is the objective I want to execute. That is the scenario I want to execute with the code. Open the page, select checkbox 2, wait for 3 seconds, unselect checkbox 2 and select checkbox 1 and 3. Yeah, you could see my code is perfectly working fine. So that is the way, right? You can do whatever right scenario you want to execute at the same time. So now similar way you can deal with the radio button also. So let's comment it out the code, and I can go with the radio button. So what I can do, first I can identify the radio button here. So that is the ID for the option 1. So I can give the variable name as radio 1, but it will behave same way here. Right, after deselected again I want to select it. So what I can do, I can again select it. I can wait again 3 seconds, and I can select it again, so it will be again selected. So initially it will open, it will select, it will wait for 3 seconds, it will deselect, again it will wait for 3 seconds, it will deselect. But here the thing is that it will not work same way, because once you select the option you cannot deselect it for the radio button. So if you want to deselect, so you need to check on the other checkbox. So that is the way you can do it, right? So that is the difference. Let's see, but it will not deselect. Once it is selected, you cannot deselect with same element again. So what you need to do, you need to identify other element and you need to right select that option. So automatically that will be selected. You could see deselect will not happen for the radio button, because that is the behavior of the radio button. Okay. So what you can do for that one, right? Instead of these 2 line of code, that is not really required. So I can create one more element, say radio 2. So it will be 2 here, and then you can just click on that. So automatically radio 1 will be deselected and radio 2 will be selected. So that is the difference you can observe while doing the operation for the radio and the checkbox. Now you could see the differences here. So open the page, option will be selected, and again it will go to the option 2. Yeah. So automatically option will be deselected. So that is the way, right? You can do n number of operations, you can execute n number of scenario for those radio button and the checkbox. So yeah, so difference is nothing, but radio button only you can select a option at a time. So you cannot deselect it once it is selected. What is the way you need to do it? You need to select the other option, so that automatically first one automatically it will be deselected. But for the checkbox, there can be 5, 6 checkbox for a question or for a particular type. So you can select or deselect n number of checkbox at the same time. So if you click for the first time, it will be selected. For the second time on the same checkbox, it will be deselected. Okay. So that is the way, right? You can do different kind of operation. You can first validate whether that are displayed, whether that is enabled. After that you can check whether it's selected or not. Sometimes it can be disabled, but by default it should be checked. So that is the thing you need to validate, whether it's disabled but checkbox is checked. So that is your expectation. So you can take the boolean value and you can validate the expected and the actual boolean value. You can store that boolean will be true, and then you can match it. In case it is matching your test case, it will pass, otherwise it will fail. Right? In case it is disabled, you can get the details. So disabled equal to true, right? Sorry, I mean displayed equal enabled equal to false. Disabled means then you can validate that it is false or not. So that is the way in the real time also. For those checkbox and radio button, you can do the different kind of operation, and you can validate the expected and the actual behavior, and then you can execute your script accordingly based on your requirement. I will take a pause, guys. Any questions from these 3 topic here? Anyone? Yeah, it's nothing, similar fashion only. Okay, so you can go to F12 button, press here, right, and then you can go here. Sorry, not that one. That is the option, right? You can go to that option here, you can copy that ID. Suppose that is the only name or ID is the, but name is, you can see that is not common, right? Waveform everywhere is there. So you can, how you can validate whether it's unique? Copy it, press Ctrl F and paste it here. Ctrl F. So you could see out of 1, right? And whenever you're hitting, in the left pane it is highlighting. So that is the way you can select whether that is unique or not. In case it is not unique, right, it will create lot of problem, because problem we will see, you can see in the upcoming right examples. Yeah, okay. Then next will be how we can handle the drop down. Okay, so just 1 second. So for the drop down, what you can do, not in the normal way you cannot handle the drop down. Are you able to hear me, guys, right? Okay, yeah. So what is the drop down value? Suppose say if you go to that page, right, you could see there's a country drop down, there is a city drop down. So if you select here, and you can find all the drop down. So what will be requirement? First is that you need to validate how many drop down is there. Then you can print the drop down list also, right? That way the drop down is also printing correctly, and then you can select the drop down, right? Any drop down value. So in Selenium, there is a select class available, which is coming from the Selenium WebDriver only, and with the help of the select class, you can select any options. Okay, so if you press F12 button in the page here, right, if you want to inspect that element, so drop down tag will start with the select tag. You could see select tag, right? If you expand it, you could able to see all the option, right? First one is value. Sometime it will having three option. One is value, one is index, and one is text. So index means it will start from the 0. In case drop down field is suppose 100, so index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and it will go 99. And that is the value, and that is the text. So this is the three way you can select a drop down. So Selenium already provides select class that has some predefined method for handling drop down, which help a lot while working on the drop down. To handle drop down and multi select list in Selenium, user can use the following type of select method. Select by visible text. It will select an option by displayed text. So what is the text here? Text is, that is the text. American Samoa, India. And you can select by visible value, right? Select by value or select by index. So in case indexing, it will start from 0, it will go to L minus 1. And sometime there might be some of the drop down where you can select multiples. So you can select one by one, and after you selected, if you use the deselect all method, so it will deselect all the previously selected options. So that will only applicable maybe less than 1%, but 99% thing only you can select only one option at a time. But in case you are encountering this such option, so you can select multiple option, right, with that that part, right, where multiples selection or deselection is possible. But generally it will give you that select box where you can select at a time primarily. So let's see how we can deal with that, right, with the help of a select class, how we can select a particular drop down options from the drop box or the select box. Let's comment out this code here. So I will open that page driver.get here. Now how you can create the object or instance, so you need to take help from the select class. So I can create the variable select equal to new select, and here you need to give that web element reference driver.find element any of the element locator. So I'll be identifying the country, so I'll be creating a variable called country with the help of select class. Say country list equal to new select, and here you need to provide the web element reference, so it will be driver dot find element Let's inspect the element here. So you could see ID equal to country, right? That might be unique. Let's press F control. There is 8 of 8 matches, but no need to worry here. So you need to find out whether ID is country uniquely or not. So you could, if you go one by one, you could see, right? ID equal to country underscore ID is different completely, so that is fine. Still ID country equal to unique. And other part, right? It is country what is there here, so that is not be a problem. For other part, HID underscore country, that is fine, but ID is still unique. Okay, you could see that is the class equal to country, that is fine. I have identified with the help of the ID equal to country only. So ID equal to country is unique only here. So with the help of that, I can go with that country. So driver dot find element by dot ID. In case it is failing, then we will take the relevant action. No worry. So I need to import it, select class, because select class is not from Java. It is coming from the Selenium WebDriver, so I need to import it. Right? Then there are a couple of options to select it. So how can I do it? Right? Either I can go with like visible text, index, or value. So let's try to select the option called first one. Say I want to select Angola. So what is the index? India is 0th index, first, second, and third. So if you want to select Angola, so it will be third index, means fourth element, fourth drop down option. So with the help of that variable here, one second, if you press dot and if you press S, you could see select by index, which is the integer, select by value, which is string, select by visible text, also string. So index, if you give 3, so it will be selecting Angola. Right? Then you can give some wait time thread dot sleep here. So I can wait for maybe 4 seconds, and then I can select by value. Okay, which will be string here. So what is the value? Suppose say in case I want to select by value. So if you expand it, right, you could see not that one. Sorry. You could see what is the value here. Say I want to select Antarctica, right? So I need to give the value called 7, but it is string, so it is the double quote I need to give, though it is number, but here it is considering the string. So here it will select Antarctica. Then again wait for 4 seconds time. Then last option I can use it. Select, sorry, that is the variable dot select by visible text. So what is the text? Suppose say I want to select Australia. So that is my text. So you can copy it from here and you can give it and paste it here. So it will select Australia. Now let's try to run the code and let's see whether the selection is happening properly with the help of the select class, right, which is available in the Selenium WebDriver. So it will open the page. It will identify the option. You could see Angola selected first. It will wait for 4 seconds. It will select Antarctica. It will wait for 4 seconds. It will select Australia, right? Your code is working perfectly fine. So 3 things selected. First Angola, then Antarctica, and then Australia. So that is the way you can use these 3 options to select any drop down field from the select box drop down. Select by visible text, index, it is 0 to n-1, and value also. So what is the index? It will start based on the drop down value. It will start with 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. And what is the value? If you expand it, you can already get the value here, value equal to like that, and this is the text, right, within the option tag. So that is the way you can deal with the select drop down. The next topics, how to scroll up or scroll down a web page. So why it is required? So sometimes if you open any web page, mostly zoom will be 100%, right? Mostly zoom will be 100% whenever it is opened by the system. Okay, generally zoom should be 100%. You can right, but sometime you could see the page is not fit within the zoom, right, default zoom. Sometime in like horizontal wise also sometimes some page might not fit. So what you can do, you can scroll that thing by some pixel, right, top to bottom or bottom to top or left to right or right to left. Or sometime you can directly go to the top, bottom here, or sometime you can go to the only relevant field so that you can click on that option. So most of the cases, suppose I want to interact with that particular privacy policy link, but you could see by default open that element is not visible here. So sometime your code might work, though it is not visible, but it will try to get the thing from the page. But sometime it get failed because by default web page that option is not visible. So that might be the one case, right, where you need to go scroll down your page to that element, or maybe down of the page, or scroll a little bit some pixel, and then you can find the element and you can perform the operation, right. So that is the scrolling part. So scroll bar always allows user to move around the screen horizontal or vertical direction. If the current page scroll does not fit the visible area of the screen, it is used to move the window up and down. To scroll using Selenium, user can use JavaScript executor interface that is available in Selenium WebDriver. And this interface you cannot directly create an object or instance, so you need to take help from the driver object. And JavaScript executor interface which help to execute JavaScript method through Selenium WebDriver. So if you want to move scroll by some pixel x-axis y-axis, you need to use window.scroll by method. If you want to go to the bottom of the page or end of the page, you can use window.scroll to method. If you want to scroll down to a particular element, you can use window.scroll into view method. So this is the currently three important methods available in Selenium WebDriver JavaScript interface. So let's see how we can deal right with these three important methods available in the JavaScript executor. So we can open the page first. Okay, so that page already open here. Let's close it. Okay, that already open here. Let's comment out the remaining stuff here. So what I can do, first thing, I need to create an object or instance, right, for the JavaScript executor. So what is JavaScript executor? JavaScript. If you do not know the alpha, you can enter something and you can enter control spacebar. Control spacebar. You could see the some option is coming, right, from org.selenium to OpenQA JavaScript executor, not exception. And you can create an object JAC. It's an interface, so I cannot create directly. So that is the way you can create the method, sorry, object or instance. I need to typecast the driver. That is called typecasting. Okay, so interface you cannot directly create the object or instance. You need to typecast the driver object, whatever created for the WebDriver and the Chrome driver. Now, with the help of that, so in case I want to move some pixel, right? So what you can do, you can simply copy the code here. Okay, execute skip, that is the method available in JavaScript executor, then window.scroll by, and that is for horizontally, and that y-axis is for the vertically. So I'll copy that one. Dot paste. So it will move it from vertically top to bottom. Vertically 100 pixel from top to bottom, right. Now let's try to run it and let's see the output. It will open the page and it will vertically, right, scroll down the page by 100 pixel. You could see this is the 100 pixel scroll is happening from the top to bottom. Sometime page is already there here, right, and if you want to go up, so you need to give it negative sign y-axis. Sometime x-axis wise, just you need to scroll down the page from left to right or right to left. Left to right means you need to only change the x-axis to positive value, and right to left means x-axis to negative value. But here no horizontal movement scroll bar is available, so you cannot do. But sometimes some pages also you can do horizontal movement, so x-axis will be applicable from left to right, from horizontally, so it will be x-axis positive value, and from right to left it will be x-axis negative value. So that is the way you can deal with the some pixel movement. Then sometime a requirement might be just I want to go to the bottom of the page directly, right? In CAT have 3 or 4 pages also, but I want to go to the bottom of the page. So you can call that method, right? Window.scroll to, then document.body.scroll height. Simply I will copy it. Okay, so it will navigate to bottom of the page directly. Okay, and let's see, let's run it. It will open the page and your navigation will be done from the bottom of the to the bottom of the page. You could see scrolling is happening to the bottom of the page. Then sometime that first two case might not work. Instead of that, I want to go to the particular element, and then once the element is visible, I want to click on any element, right? So that is also possible. So what you can do here, first you need to identify the element, right? Suppose say I want to click on any term and condition the privacy policy link. So what I can do, I can press the F12 button and I can say term and condition. I want to click here. So this is the link here and this is the text, so I can identify it with the help of the link text. So say web element, right? I can keep term and condition link, that is the, and driver dot find element by dot link text, and that is the link text. I can give it completely, and then so my element is identified, right? First term and condition link. Then what can I do? I can call the method simply for scrolling into a particular web element. So it will be that web element reference JSC dot, and here you need to change that name. Term and condition link, you need to change it, that variable name you need to change it. Okay, so I already navigated to that part. After that I can select it and I can click it here, dot click. Okay, now let's execute your code and let's see how it is behaving. So that same code here, you need to whatever variable name you are giving for the web element, you need to change it here only, otherwise no change in the code. Let's run it and let's see how it is behaving. So it will open the page, it will navigate to the element, and then you could see the terms and condition link is getting clicked. So that is the right appropriate options, that I want to go to that element, right? I want to go to the element and then I want to click on that link. Okay, so it will work here. Okay, so these are the three options available for scrolling to a page. You can scroll down or scroll up a web page, right? You can go to the bottom of the page, or you can go to a particular element. Just coming in a minute. Okay, so that is the three options available. Okay, in sometimes user can ask like, is it possible from the top or left directly? No. So that is the only options available. Go to the bottom here, or you can go some pixel movement, which is possible from the left to right, right to left, top to bottom, bottom to top also, and you can go to any particular element location where after that, after finding, you can execute that one, right? I mean, you can identify and you can do the different operation as per your requirement. So I will take a pause, guys. Any questions? Anyone? Is it clear, guys? Any doubt? Okay. Okay, cool. Then the next important topic should be covered: how we can deal with XPath or CSS. So what is XPath? XPath is nothing but the XML path. So it is a syntax or language for finding any element on the web page using XML path expression. XPath is used to find the location of any element on a web page using the HTML DOM or document object model structure. XPath is a technique in Selenium which allows user to navigate to the structure of a web page HTML. XPath is a syntax for finding element on a web page. Using XPath in Selenium helps find elements that are not found. Sometimes ID, class, name is not available, but sometimes those are available. But those are dynamic in nature, so you cannot interact. So that is the reason XPath or CSS can be used. Okay. So in XPath there are primarily two kinds of XPath. One is relative XPath, one is absolute XPath, one is, and I can say that within absolute there is a partial XPath available. So just think about the real-time example. Okay, forget about all this syntax. So say, so you are staying in Delhi or Mumbai and you need to come to my location to meet me for some reason, right? So what can you go do? You can take a flight or anything, right, or train from Delhi or Mumbai. You can come to Kolkata, right? You can come to my postal code. You can come to my street. You can come to my society. You can come to the block and the floor number. Then you can visit to my flat. You can, right, reach me directly that way. So that is called absolute XPath, which contains the complete path from the root element to the desired element. It's begin with this root path and it is a double single slash only. And say what is partial XPath? It will derive from the absolute path only. Suppose say you are already in Kolkata by chance. So definitely you no need to travel from Mumbai different way, right? From your location to Mumbai airport to Kolkata, Kolkata again taxi, that is the not required. So you can directly come here and you can meet me. So that is called partial XPath. But this is the thing is not used much because that will create a lot of problem. That is the reason we always deal with the relative XPath. So what the problem might come, right? Suppose I have given your address, right? My home address. That is the address ABCD in Kolkata. But what happened? Suppose say, right? You need to meet today, but today I went to other places. I went to the friend places or other places. I went for some vacation. So what happened? You already reached to my home, but you are not able to meet me. So that's the problem might come. So in the real time also there is a page. That page, right? There was a 10 field, but later point of time there was 12 field. One important field through which you came to that field that was removed, that was renamed. So your thing will not work. So that's the problem reason absolute XPath should not use or rely in the Selenium. So what you can do, you can go with relative XPath. So relative XPath is more like starting simply by referencing the element user want to navigate from a particular location. It begin from the current location and prefix by double slash. So instead of my address, if you call me, right, that day, okay, and you tell me that I want to meet with you around 5 p.m. So I can say that 5 p.m. time I will not be in my home. Maybe I will be in the mall. I will be having my lunch or dinner. You can come and meet me there. So right, accuracy is more. So you can directly go there, right? So you are starting from a base place and you are going there. So that is called relative XPath, right? Where chances will be more and more accurate, right? To meet that element, to find the element. So that is the way these three XPath concept, right? Which you need to learn. So these are the thing you might not learn, but this is the kind of context I want to give, so that like you will never forget what is relative XPath, what is absolute, and what is partial XPath. So how can we deal with the XPath? So there is basic XPath. Sometimes ID, name, class name is there. You can create the XPath with the help of that. Sometimes contents word, right? I can use it. Sometimes I can, with the help of the text, I can create. Sometimes start with, I can create it. Sometimes the XPath is, sometimes element is available, but with that a particular element ID, I am not able to uniquely identify it. Okay. So what I can do? So I can use two properties. Then I can, using and sign, I can uniquely identify it. So that might be possible. Sometime one thing I am able to identify, but that there is a chances that might got changed. So I will be using two properties, unique properties. I'll be giving or. So in case one thing got changed, I can use the other thing. So I'm giving sample example for the and, right? Suppose say there are two person is taking the training, right? One is say A B, one is A C. So the first name A will be common. So with the help of the first name, I cannot identify the person, right? So I need to take first name and second name combination. I can tell that first name is A and second name is B. Then I can identify the person uniquely. So that is the reason sometime that is required. And why the or is required? Suppose sometime your name is right AB, okay, and sometime you are studying in the class, say maybe say 5 or 6. Suppose just simple example. So your I can use either the class name or the or roll number which is unique for the class, or and your name. But tomorrow you can promote it to the next class, your roll number get changed, so that but your name will still same. So I can use the or. Contents means, suppose say your name is having three part, right? First name, middle name, or surname. Just giving an example. So if I use contents, so either it can go with the last name or middle name or first name. Start with, in case multiple person is there, but start with I can use it the that person is starting with name is unique, right? So that is the way I can create the XPath. So before going to the XPath, let's see the challenges. How, what are the different challenges coming, right? And how we can handle this thing. So say here I am opening the web page, that go ready page only. So this is the three important page, right? Google, Facebook, Reddit, where you can find lot of important things and you can practice little bit. So say in that particular page, I want to enter the full name. So you can mouse it over, you can find here name, right? Is the unique one. And if you press Ctrl F and if you paste, right, 5 matches. So but name equal to that is unique, right? You could see. Okay, name equal to that value is unique. Mother name is fine, but name equal to is unique. So let's see, let's identify the element. Driver dot find element here by dot name is the element locator, and I can give the name within the double quote. And see, I want to enter that's text field. I want to enter send keys here. Haradhan. Okay. Now if you execute it, you could still throw the error. It is not entering the Haradhan, right? And if you go here, it is throwing the error. What is the error? You could see no such element exceptions, right? If you scroll down here, scroll right here, right? That method, whatever you have given, right? That ID is not, name is not matching, and which line it is throwing the error? You could see here if you go down, right? So that is the line, right? That is the package name, that is the class name, and that is the line name. It is throwing the error. It is highlighting. So that way you can identify what the problem is coming. So can anyone tell me why the error is coming? Though in that particular field name was there and it is unique in the page, but still error is coming. Can anyone tell me? Give a try. Why the error is coming? So name is the unique identifier here for the page, but still it is failing. Anyone? Yes, It's dynamic element, absolutely, but here there is a two part, right? So what is the two part here? So here there is a two part. So first one is the name, that is static part, but that alphabetical value that is changing every time. If you open next time, it might get changed. So every time it's changing, it will not work. So what I need to do, I need to create Xpath for that one. Okay. So here what syntax I can use here for the Xpath? So I can use that start with, right? So how can I create the Xpath? So that is the syntax here, right? You need to use in case start with // tag name at the rate attribute name equal to value, but here attribute name will not work because that is dynamic in nature. So I need to go with start with attribute and the corresponding value. So // tag name. So how can you do it? Press Ctrl F, give // tag name. What was the tag name for that particular field? What is the tag? That is the tag input, right? // tag name. Then what is the syntax? Third bracket. Then starts with hyphen with, start with, then bracket, at the rate attribute, at the rate, what was the attribute name? Name, comma, and what was starting? Name. Enter, enter. I need to give one more bracket. You could see now 1 out of 1, 1 out of 1. You could see here 1 out of 1. So that is the way you can identify it uniquely, but that will never change because I am taking the static word only. So 1 out of 1. Now if you copy it and if you paste change it Xpath instead of by name, you could see it will work. It is giving Haradhan, right? So that is the way you can deal with this particular stuff. With the help of you can create your Xpath which will be unique and which will never change. So that is the reason sometimes some of the field there is no element locator app available, id, name, class name, text, sorry, link text, nothing is available, or sometimes it's available but there's a probability that can change the value, right, which is a combination of dynamic. But in case you are calling name, so you need to give the complete name, right, in case you are calling the name web element locator. But in case you are creating, so there is a lot of options for the Xpath. You can go with, right, any particular attribute name value. You can you use contents, you can use and operation or operation. You can also put the text also, you can create Xpath, or you can go with start with. Now let's see other example for the other page. How can you create the Xpath? So say this is the particular thing I am given here. Now say say another field called mobile number, right? You could see this is also mob number is constant, but other thing is change or id equal to mobile number, that is unique. So with the help of the id also I can create the Xpath. So it is tag with input, and here instead of start with I can directly call at the rate id, right, equal to the value. You could see 1 out of 1 uniquely. So that is the way, with the help of that, right, you can use it, you create the Xpath. Okay. Now let's see, start with, you could see similarly contents also you can use it in case that similar kind of stuff is there in the middle or the last, right, instead of start with. And then I can use and or. So let's go to the other page here. Let's see that email field here, right? You could see the type equal to text, class equal to this, id equal to email, right, name equal to email. So I will try to create the Xpath with the help of the name and id here. What is the tag name input? Control F here, go with the // tag name input, then I can use third bracket at the rate id equal to email. So that is the way I can simply create the Xpath. But say id might get changed, so I need to use maybe not unique, I need to use and @name equal to email. Okay, you could see 1 second. Yeah, 1 out of 1. So in case both are correct only, that is the way uniquely identified. Sometimes one is two are correct, but there is a change of one thing might get changed, you can use or, but still it is showing 1 of 1, right? That is the way you can deal with this kind of XPath. So you can go with, so based on your situation, right, you need to create the XPath. Sometime in case you do not know the tag name, right, you want to get all the thing without tag name also, so you can remove the tag name, you can give start sign, still it is 1 of 1. Then next thing is that you need to validate, you already know 1 of 1, it is highlighting, but there are other way you can copy it. XPath, you can go to the console and here you can type thing, the dollar symbol x, dollar x, and here you can keep within the double bracket and bracket close. You could see now it is coming. If you press enter, right, you could see it is highlighting, and if you select here, yeah, you could see input. If you expand it, you could able to see length equal to 1, means uniquely identified. If you go to the email link, it will highlight the element. So that is the another way you can validate it from the console as well after getting the XPath. So what is the syntax? Go to the console, give $x first bracket within the double quote XPath, press enter, it will give you the suggestion how many XPath is there. With the help of that element, it will give 1, 2, 3 like that. So in case it is uniquely identified, that is fine. So your objective is that you want to identify the element uniquely with the help of the XPath. So there are a lot of options. You can go with any attribute name corresponding value, right? You can go with tag name. In case tag name is not known, you can give star. You can go with contents, so starting, middle, or the last portion you can go with. You can go with that and or option. You can go with the start with. You can right, and we'll see how we can go with the text, right? So text. Suppose say forgotten password, I want to create the XPath for that link. So I can use link text or partial link text, but in case those are not working, right, then how can I go with that text? So I can take the XPath called anchor link here. This is the anchor link. So I can go control F, then I can give / anchor link, because starting with anchor link. Then here you can use not @ sign is required, text, exact thing, txt, and you need to bracket equal to, you need to give the text. You could see 1 out of 1 element, and it is highlighting forgotten password. So that is the way, right? With the help of the text also you can create the XPath. The next thing, that suppose I want to create the XPath for the Facebook image. So you can see there are a lot of things available, called src or alt Facebook. So with the help of this attribute, I can also create the XPath. Let's try to create it. So its tag is starting with img and alt equal to Facebook, right? So it is img, and here what is the attribute name, right? Equal to @alt equal to Facebook. Let's see whether it's working or not. What is the syntax? / tag name img @. Okay, I need to give one. You could see now with the help of the alt properties also I am able to create the XPath. So it does not matter that always you have to create the XPath with the help of the ID, text, all this stuff. Any attribute, and that attribute should be unique, otherwise you can use multiple attributes. So sometimes XPath is required, suppose there is no ID, name, XPath, link, partial link, so nothing is available for the particular class, right? For the particular element, nothing is available. So it's only available class. So class might not sometime work. src, which is not a element locator techniques or element locator, right? Or alt, but still I can use them and I can create the XPath uniquely. So that is the beauty of the XPath. Very weightage on the XPath. In case nothing is possible, you can still create it. Okay, XPath. Okay, so clear guys. So different variety of the options I have tried to showcase here while creating the XPath. And once the XPath is created, you can just right? Enter and you can find one of one, or maybe you can go to the left section, it will highlight the element, or you can go to the console and you can press dollar first bracket within the double quote, you can give the XPath and you can find it out. Okay, any questions? Is it clear, guys? Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, just give the response so that I can get to know. Okay. And the next important thing is the CSS. So similar to Xpath, sometimes CSS is kind of pretty much straightforward and very easier, but CSS is having some drawback, so you cannot go with the text, right? Or sometime right from the you can travel only from the parent to child, but child to parent is not possible. For Xpath, parent to child is also possible and child to parent is also possible. But Xpath is CSS is more simpler, and there is another option called end with also available in the CSS along with start with, but end with is not available in the Xpath. So only Xpath is available contents or start with, but CSS contents, end with and start with also available. So CSS selector are string pattern used to identify element based on a combination of HTML tag, ID, class and attribute. Locating by CSS selector is the most common locating strategy of advanced Selenium user because it can access even those elements that do not have any ID name. So similar way, CSS is also important. Wherever there is no particular tag is available, you can use Xpath CSS, or sometimes those are available but those are dynamic in nature, you can still use CSS. So CSS selector is used by browser to target specific HTML element and apply styles. For web browser automation, Selenium WebDriver uses CSS selector to locate and perform an actions on an object instead of applying a style. Using CSS selector to locate element have some benefit. It is faster, more readable and used more often. But it will vary based on organization to organization, based on customer to customer, which Xpath or CSS which can be used. So using Xpath, user can traverse both the forward and backward, whereas CSS only moves forward. CSS selector is easy to write as compared to Xpath. CSS selector is faster as compared to Xpath. CSS selector does not allow to create a selector based on text content, whereas Xpath allow. With the help of the text, you cannot create CSS selector, but with the help of text, you can create the Xpath. So what is the syntax? So you need to give the tag name. In case you already know the ID, has ID. In case you know the class name, right, tag name dot class name. In case you know the right, any attribute, attribute equal to value and tag name. Start with, end with, contents and multiple symbol as well. Okay, so let's see how we can create the CSS for the whatever way I have created the Xpath. So say for that one, so what I need to give, tag name. So no need to give the double slash. So tag name, attribute equal to value. You no need to give that bracket also. First quote also, and also not at the rate sign also. You could see tag name, attribute equal to simple value. So how easily I can create the CSS? So that is called CSS. So say for the other field, right, I want to create a CSS with the help of on or operation. So I need to go with input is the tag, then ID equal to email. You could see I will to create uniquely, and in case you want to give multiple, ID name equal to email. No fast code is required, right? It is or. So that is the way you can create CSS. Okay. Then in case you know the ID, right? How can you do it? Input, then ID equal to email. So you can press hash sign, hash, and then simply ID. You could see one of one element. If you don't know the class name, right? So sometime in case there's a space available, that will not take. Okay. So that is the problem. But say other field, right? Say this is the link or button, right? You could see this is the class. So I can take before the space. So that part I can take. In case space is available, that will not work. So what is the syntax? That is the button tag, then dot tag name dot class value. So I can take button dot class name. You could see one about the one. So do not give after the space. So that will not work for the class. That is the problem. Okay, so you need to take, in case it is uniquely identified, that is still fine. Tag name dot class name until the space part. Then start with. So similar way I can also start with, right? So tag name, then attribute, say what is the attribute? Class is the attribute, is starting with that word, right? Then class, attribute is the class. Then I need to give the sign called that sign and equal to and prefix. That is the sign here, equal to prefix, and you need to end with that. You could see starting with this coming, right? If you want to use contents, so you can use that attribute star marks instead of that sign. You could see if you want to go with the end with, you can use that dollar sign. What is the class ending with? What is the ending with class? So that is the thing I think ending with, right? -51sy underscore -51sy. It is working with the help of contents, or you can use simply end with, because it is ending word dollar, you can give it. So that is the way your aim will be, always identify the element uniquely. You could see 1 of 1. In case 2 or 3, that might be not your case, so you need to go with the other option. How can you easily identify the element uniquely? Sometimes middle part is common, unique, sometimes starting part is unique, sometimes ending part is unique. So that is the way. Otherwise you can go with the multiple combination, and operation or operation, like that. Multiple symbol I have already showed you, right? How to deal with that normal thing with the attribute, then class, then id, then prefix, content, suffix, and also multiple symbol. So I'll repeat it once more time, then I will take for any questions. So for images, primarily there will be, sometime if you open an image, there might be link or hyperlink, or sometimes there is no link. You can get the attribute, you can validate whether image is working fine. In case link is there, right, it will open some window or the page, you can validate the URL or the title of the page. You can deal with checkbox and radio button. So checkbox you can select or unselect multiple times. For radio button only you can select one at a time. If you select the other options, you can, it will be automatically first one will be deselected, so you can validate whether thing is displayed, enabled, selected, or you can click it. Drop down, so there is options like select class available in Selenium WebDriver. With the help of the select class, you can select any drop down box. So definitely tag will start with select, and you can identify any unique element, and then you can deal with that index, right, visible text, or by value, select by value, right? Similar way you can deselect it by index, visible text, value, or in case multiple option is there to deselect, you can deselect by all also. So sometimes scroll down or scroll up is required, scroll left, right, top, bottom is required. So you can scroll right, there are JavaScript executor interface is available, and there are a lot of method, window or scroll by, you can scroll down or up, or horizontally or the vertically, you can move it with the help of the x and y axis. So x axis positive means from left to right horizontally, x axis negative means right to left horizontally, and y axis positive means top to bottom vertically, right, and y axis negative means bottom to top vertically. And if you want to go to the bottom of the page, so you can use window or scroll to method. If you want to go to a particular element within the page, you can use window or scroll into view. And Xpath is nothing but the XML path. So primarily whenever any web page is open, right, you need to identify the element uniquely. So sometime ID, name, class name is not available, or sometimes those are available, but those are dynamic in nature. So what you can do, you need to identify the element uniquely first. So you need to go with the Xpath or CSS creation. So sometimes those things are available, but you are not able to uniquely identify it. So you can go with the and or operation. You can start with, right. Xpath is nothing but the / tag name, third bracket at the attribute name equal to value. You can use and, or you can create Xpath for the text also. You can create Xpath for the start with and contents word. So also you can, similar way you can create Xpath for the ID, CSS with the help of the ID, class name, or any attribute, multiple attribute as well. You can create a CSS with the help of the prefix, suffix, or the substring as well. So Xpath is more faster, sorry, CSS is more faster compared to Xpath. CSS is very easier, right? But CSS does not allow you to create it with the help of the text option. CSS allow you additionally for the end width, which is not available in the Xpath, right? Xpath you can traverse from the forward and backward, but CSS only you can, right, go forward direction. So that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.